What if I told you that Resident Evil's newest monster might just be scarier than Mr. X, Nemesis, and even Lady Dimitrescu? That's right. Capcom has unveiled a brand new Stalker enemy in the upcoming Resident Evil Requiem. And fans are already calling it one of the most terrifying creatures the series has ever seen. This new demo doesn't just tease jump scares. It redefines what survival horror can feel like in 2025. Today, we're going to dive deep into everything revealed so far. The new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft, the unsettling Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center setting, and the nightmarish creature that hunts you relentlessly. Buckle up, because this breakdown will give you chills. The demo opens inside Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center, a long-abandoned medical facility that sets the tone immediately. Players take control of Grace Ashcroft, a brand new protagonist in the series, who finds herself wandering dark corridors with little more than a lighter and some glass bottles to aid her survival. Unlike previous Resident Evil entries, this slice of gameplay strips away the comfort of firearms. There are no pistols, no shotguns, and no grenade launchers, just stealth, wits, and nerves of steel. That change alone sets the mood for a slower, more suspenseful horror experience, forcing players to focus on evasion instead of combat. As Grace explores the clinic, the environment feels almost deceptively safe at first. Rooms are dimly lit, with scattered hospital equipment, old wheelchairs, and the eerie creaks of a building long abandoned. But the illusion of security doesn't last. In one shocking moment, Grace stumbles upon what looks like an ordinary corpse, just another infected, as she calls them. Then, suddenly, a massive claw erupts into the frame, dragging the body away. What follows is one of the most chilling reveals in Resident Evil history. A towering creature biting straight into the zombie's skull, establishing its dominance and letting players know this is no ordinary monster. So who, or what, is this new Stalker enemy? Its appearance is unforgettable. Imagine a monster as tall as Lady Dimitrescu, with the hulking frame of Lisa Trevor, jaws like a Wendigo, and eyes that bulge unnaturally from its face. It lumbers with a hunched posture, claws scraping the floor as it moves. And while its size suggests slowness, the demo proves otherwise. The creature reacts instantly to sound, movement, and even scent. The way it prowls, stalks, and surprises players feels more alive than ever, making every step in those corridors nerve-wracking. One of the biggest comparisons fans are making is to the xenomorph in Alien Isolation. Much like that iconic creature, this Stalker isn't just limited to hallways. It can crawl through overhead spaces, drop down from vents, and ambush players without warning. This unpredictability means you're never truly safe. Grace might think she's alone, but the monster's ability to appear from above creates a sense of paranoia that sticks with you. It's the kind of design choice that reminds players why Resident Evil has always thrived when it leans into pure survival horror. But this isn't just about raw terror. The creature also introduces new gameplay mechanics. For the first time in the series, light becomes both a weapon and a shield. While Grace's tiny lighter flame doesn't affect it, the harsh glow of ceiling lamps and floodlights can actually burn its skin. In the demo, when Grace lures the Stalker into a brightly lit room, the monster recoils, screaming in pain. This mechanic cleverly flips the idea of safe rooms on its head. Instead of being magically off-limits to enemies, brightly lit areas now have a practical explanation for why monsters stay away. This light mechanic adds a whole new layer of strategy. Players can't just rely on running and hiding. They need to think ahead, plan routes, and even bait the monster into certain areas. Knowing that light can save you provides a sliver of hope, but it also raises the stakes. What if the power goes out? What if you're stuck in a hallway with no lamps? The demo teases this balance perfectly, reminding fans that survival horror works best when you feel vulnerable, yet resourceful at the same time. Interestingly, some fans are already speculating about the creature's backstory. One popular theory suggests it might be connected to Grace herself. Some believe the Stalker could be her mother, Alyssa Ashcroft, twisted into a monstrous form. This theory gained traction after fans pointed out similarities between its horrific feeding animation, where it devours Grace's head, and Francisco de Goya's infamous painting, Saturn devouring his son. Whether this is intentional symbolism or just a coincidence remains to be seen, but it has definitely fueled discussions about deeper narrative layers. Now, let's talk about the design details that make this monster stand out. It stands nearly 3 meters tall, with one arm unusually elongated, ending in claws sharp enough to slice through walls and doors. Its face is horrifyingly deformed, one swollen eye, an oversized mouth, and jagged teeth that look ready to tear through anything. These asymmetrical, almost human features make it all the more unsettling. It feels like a corrupted person rather than just another lab experiment gone wrong, adding emotional weight to its presence. For longtime Resident Evil fans, the introduction of a new Stalker monster carries big expectations. Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 Remake set a high bar, and Nemesis has always been a franchise icon. But from what we've seen so far, this new creature might surpass them both in terms of unpredictability and raw terror. Its design combines classic horror inspirations with new mechanics that keep players on edge. And unlike some past enemies, this one doesn't feel like it's there just for jump scares. It's integrated into the core gameplay loop in meaningful ways. What makes this demo particularly effective is its restraint. By limiting Grace's tools to just a lighter and bottles, Capcom ensures players can't brute force their way out of danger. Instead, every encounter feels like a puzzle. Do you hide and wait? Do you distract the monster with sound? Or do you risk running for the nearest lit room? This minimalist approach heightens the sense of vulnerability, making victories feel earned. And when you finally outsmart the monster, the relief is palpable. Capcom also seems to be doubling down on atmosphere. The clinic is a perfect setting. Narrow corridors, flickering lights, unsettling ambient noises, and the constant fear of being hunted. It recalls the best elements of older Resident Evil games, where environment played as much of a role as the monsters themselves. This attention to detail suggests Resident Evil Requiem is aiming for a pure survival horror experience, rather than the more action-heavy tones of some previous entries. Of course, the big question on everyone's mind is how this Stalker will evolve throughout the full game. If light is its weakness, will players eventually gain tools to manipulate electricity or set traps? Will the creature adapt and become resistant to light over time? And how many times will it cross paths with Grace before the story reaches its climax? The demo gives us a taste, but clearly holds back many of the answers, keeping the mystery alive and the anticipation high. From a release standpoint, fans don't have long to wait. Resident Evil Requiem is officially set to launch on February 27, 2026, across Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Pre-orders are already live, and anticipation is building after this Gamescom reveal. With a new protagonist, a fresh Stalker design, and a clear return to survival horror roots, this could be the scariest Resident Evil entry in years. If the demo is any indication, players are in for a chilling ride that balances nostalgia with innovation. So is this new Stalker the most terrifying monster in Resident Evil history? It just might be. With its grotesque design, unpredictable behavior, and weakness tied to light. It represents a bold new step for the franchise. Grace Ashcroft's journey through Rhodes Hill already feels iconic, and fans are eager to uncover the secrets behind the creature's origin. Whether it's tied to Grace's past or simply a new nightmare born from the series' lore, one thing is clear. Resident Evil Requiem is embracing true horror once again. And come February, players around the world will be ready, or maybe not so ready, to face the terror head-on.